Hello, 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 hello. Just can't read that in either direction, can you? That says eye candy. Fast shipping. I just ordered that. When did I order that? Let's see. Wouldn't it be great if you could use one camera and do 2 lives? How cool would that be? Okay, so I'll edit out the first 4 34-second minutes. And I will get going whether people are here or not. So first we're going to open up this package from Eye Candy. With shipping, I paid $18.99. I believe it was $15.99 for the sample packs. So these are just little samples. I need to make sure the colors I want to order from people because I just don't have money to order just a ton of products. So I like to know exactly what I'm dealing with before I'll add one. I usually just order one at a time every once in a while when I can. I like that packaging they have there. Oh, they sent me a nice eye candy sticker. How cool is that? That's awesome. I can use that when I use their samples. Let's see, they gave me a nice catalog. This company, I believe, makes auto paint. So they have money to put into having catalogs like this and that because they were already an auto paint company. See, this is what they do. And then they somehow must have met an artist along the way or whatever, and now they sell the smalling. Yeah, automotive paints. So they send you some information here. What's the use? What they're used for? Automotive paint, woodworking, pens, flooring, arts, crafts, nail polish, cosmetics, plastic, slime, lotions, cream, latex, soap colorant, lip balm, acrylic, candle making, countertop, screen printing, bath bombs, jewelry, and more. So I'm assuming that they're safe if they're going to be used in cosmetics. I have to research that more. So the catalog is really nicely done. They talk about how they package their products, talk about color, solids. They got a lot of colors. Holy heckamundo. Wow. You'll never afford all these colors. No way. That's a lot of colors, man. I definitely would have to pick through and just pick a couple that I like. Wow. Well, they certainly have a beautiful line. They have hues, they have ghost colors, they have flakes, they have attention grabbers, color shifts. And these are the color shift colors. That's what I wanted to order, but like I think one pack was like $25 if I remember, plus shipping, so that wasn't going to happen. So I didn't do that. I believe I ordered a pack of hues samples because I couldn't figure out where the color shift samples were. But the color shifts was what I was actually looking for. Boy, that's pretty. I like how that looks there. So nice catalog came with that. Hughes series sample set. I mean, they look pretty enough. So they're going to have to make do. I'll go onto one of the Chinese websites and find where to get a color shift that I can afford. So as you see, these are really, they're just samples. In fact, we're going to weigh them to see what a sample is. So on the gram scale, doesn't even register. All right, let me get it back to 0. We'll see what 2 of them weigh. And that says 5, but it's not like, let me see what they all weigh. All right. So it's about 31, 32 grams for 13 packages. So that wasn't that much of a help, was it? So let's see. Violet. So purple jam. Blue orchid. Chartreuse. Purple sage. Aztec purple. Jasmine. Beetle blue. That's got a lot of gold in it, you could tell. Nebula green. That's got a lot of gold in it. Iceberg blue. Macaw. Green day. And green onion. That's got a lot of gold in it. Well, they definitely are what I would call a sample. So if I let a little air into the bag, so for those of us who have to be penny pinchers, you're definitely getting about that much across the bottom. And I'll see if I have a spoon here. So that's a teaspoon. And that's everything that was in the bag. So that's definitely a sample, which is better than nothing. Well, back in my younger days, I used to wear eyeshadows because that was the thing when I was younger. I don't wear them now. Once you hit a certain age, they just don't look good on your skin. and they show your wrinkles more than anything. So those days are long gone. But if I was young, I would wear that green onion as an eyeshadow. So I'd say you get about a teaspoon for a sample. So I got 13 teaspoons full here. Paid $15.99 and a few dollars in shipping, so it was $18.99 total. And they came within 48 hours, which is pretty good. So I might as well snap a little pretty picture of these. And I guess I can. The YouTube stopped us from using our phones, from doing lives. But I forgot. So we have some. I hope that's not air bubbles in there. That would be a bummer. So these are coming out of the pressure pot. It's going to take me a minute to get things out. I've got 3 levels. 3 levels going here on the pressure pot right now. Let's see. Oh, man. One of my molds completely. I left it in to cure really good, and it ended up touching my shelf. So it's stuck. It's stuck. I got it now. It's stuck to the shelf that I put in there. I couldn't figure out why some of my resin pieces were leaking inside when I would put them in the pressure pot. And then I realized when I try to tighten it down, I use a monkey wrench to tighten it more than my hands can because of my arthritis. And I noticed when I get it tight and I go to, pull it to tighten it more, I noticed I'm shifting the pot. So when I shift that pot, I'm making it jump. And I'm pretty sure that I am doing that myself. So I'm getting the last row out that's in the pot. I had an order come in from India. How cool is that? So I had to make that order. All right, it looks like we got them all out now. So I had 3 levels in my pressure pot. So I had an order come in from India. Let's see, the last other 2, one was Canada, one was Spain. So this person ordered an amethyst resin crystal and a clear resin crystal. So we're going to open up the orders from her. I want to make sure that my Facebook peeps can see what's going on here. Okay, so these prices were lowered down. Right now, these resin crystals are $20 each. And you see I take the extra step and they go into a pressure pot. So there are no bubbles in them. It's just a matter of me wiggling them enough to be able to get them out with my limited hand strength. But that's what happens as you get old. There we go. You can see that one. So that one's ready to ship out. So beautiful. And you can see the clarity in this. Not a bubble in sight. And this is why we use the pressure pot. All my molds since, let's see, all my molds since the second week of March have been made in a pressure pot, which means there are no bubbles within the mold. When people make molds and they don't use a pressure pot, the whole mold is bubbles, but they just can't see it. So if they were to cast in that mold, say you took a mold that wasn't made in a pressure pot and you casted epoxy or resin into that mold inside the pressure pot, your piece is going to come out with pimples all over it because the pressure is going to push the resin into all those bubbles in the mold that you can't even see with your eye. But you'll see them when you take your piece out because I've done it, so I've seen it. So this is a crystal clear, gorgeous, bubble-free crystal cluster that I designed. These can be found on my website, leecranchcreations.com, same name as the YouTube channel, same name as the Facebook channel. It's a .com. And what you're seeing all along here, those are not bubbles. Those are little beautiful sparkles, druzy sparkles. Druzy-like sparkles, I should say. So there we have it. I absolutely love these. These are going to India. And I don't pay international shipping at all. So the $7.90 that you're charged per piece will be combined and taken off the international charge for shipping. And then what I do is I take it to the post office. I have them weigh it and tell me what it's going to cost. And I get the customs form. And then I bring it home and I invoice the person and I take off the $7.90 that was charged. Like for this, she was probably charged $7.90 for each one. So I'll take that, combine that total and take that off of the balance of what the post office told me it's going to cost to ship. And then I invoice the person and then they pay that balance and then I ship out. So when I get out of country orders, I always send a message extra to make sure they understand if they didn't read, because it is on the website clearly. But sometimes people are too excited and then they just don't see it. So I verify before I cast these orders, I verify that they understand that they're going to be invoiced the balance of the shipping, less the amount that was included with the order for US shipping. So far I haven't had any problems. I did have one person that said they couldn't afford it, so I refunded them the money. And then I had wrote the lady back and told her if she wanted to go ahead with it, I would take care of it for her because I felt bad that she was so excited. So I wrote her back a couple days, but she wanted to wait till she got her full refund back. So that's the only time that has happened to me. So these are ready to go. So I will package these up later and get them to the post office on Monday because this is Easter weekend. So they look beautiful. I'm really happy with these. So they were $20 a piece plus shipping. Okay. So I always make too much resin. Hi, Beyond. How are you? Thank you, honey. So this was a new mold. I did not make this mold. Um, I'll be casting my own of these type molds, but this original one is purchased from someone else, but I'll be making my own bookmark molds. But I wanted to make Mom a bookmark quick. I think that came out cute. Right? That looks cute. So what I did was I took this material here and I carefully cut it. I did 3 lines at a time, and then I did another 3 lines, and I had to cut it short and then meet it in the middle. So I don't know if you can, how well you could see that. So that came out cute. So I'll put some ribbons on the top for her, and I'll be making her a couple more. She reads books every night, so that's how that one was made. And of course, I use Epox A-Cast 690 from Smooth On. The Reynolds Advanced Material Corporation makes that, and they have locations all around the world, and they use it in a lot of Hollywood movies. Their stuff's made with. They have hundreds of products, and they are fantastic. They have been super good to me, and I will be super good to them. And that's how it works. They didn't tell me stories. They didn't blow smoke up my ass and make me think they were going to send me something they weren't. Company's local. I was able to go down and meet with them. They gave me a tour of their facility, and they sponsored me some product because they thought my work was amazing, and I was so honored for them to say that. Now, this mold is the one that I put the shelf on, and then when I tightened it, it it moved. It moved the jug and it shook the resin. And I have a habit of doing that. So now I have to do a little extra work on my piece here. So I'm just going to cut that with my jewelry pliers immediately and just get the little spill mark off. And then when I have my respirator on and I have extra time, I will sand the very bottom and sand the very edge there. But for now, this is my cute little mermaid dish. I think it's so beautiful. And I have to think about what was it? What was that color that I used to make this? I believe, let's see. I was playing around with epoxy candy. They sent me a whole bunch of samples to test out. And I've made a lot of videos for them because they are awesome. And I'm going to say, I moved a bunch of stuff around. And I thought this was cobalt blue. And I'm not sure where I stuck that little bottle. These are different ones that I use. So I don't know where I laid that little tiny bottle, but I know it's cobalt blue. And this is from, it's sticking to the bottom of my shelf. So that's not part of the cobalt blue. I want to put them on a piece of paper to show you. So that is a cobalt blue color. And then I put some beautiful glitter in there. Let's see. That's not the color. I used the next. Oh wait, I did use the blue, didn't I? Yeah. So this is called Mermaid Siren, and this is by Recollections. Michael's has it right now for $5 a jar. I went and did a nice little Michael's haul the other day on the $5 coupons that they had out. So I was able to use 2 coupons. I was able to use my $5 off $25 or more. So I actually had it up to, gosh, I think I was up to $60. So I ended up getting, what did I get? $10 off. And then I was able to use 25% off the whole purchase. And I had $64 order and it brought it down to like $32. I was jumping it out of my skin. I was so happy and excited because I bought all kinds of mermaid color stuff. So this is the mold that I sell on my website. It's a little 128 gram mold. It's 4.45 4 ounces, 0.45. I believe that's 35 on the website, and that makes this adorable little trinket dish. Wait till you see all the new trinket dishes I have coming out. I also have other dishes. I have a heart-shaped one. I have a square one. For anyone who just might be tuning in for the first time, I have a mold for this dish up, and I did lower the prices on them. The molds are heavy. It's using a lot of my product, but I did lower the prices on the molds to make these dishes. The dish doesn't come with this in the mold. This is what I put on it, but the dish itself is a mold. Plus, I have a stack of molds waiting to be poured in the next couple weeks, so I'll be releasing even more dish molds. So isn't that beautiful? So that's my dish mold. I guess I should light up my bookmarker. I'll light him up better. I don't have the greatest lighting here, but I work with what I have. Okay. Now, so when I have, everyone that knows me knows when I have my leftovers, I fill up my bracelet mold. So I had some leftover product last night. And it was actually the night before because this takes 24 hours. And when the 24-hour mark came, it was like 2 o'clock in the morning. And I decided to stay in bed and just chill out. I woke up at 1:30 and thought, should I get up and go down there? And I thought, no, I'm going to let my stuff set up even longer than 24 hours so that it's not moving and I'm not pulling and messing stuff up. So I waited longer than 24 hours to come and unmold. So here's a bracelet that I made. And of course, you know, at one point I did try to put mica flakes inside the cobalt blue, but you couldn't see anything. So I ended up putting the glitter in there. But I did try just mica flakes. Eye Candy sells some mica flakes, and I was trying to use them, but they don't show up in the dark colored epoxies. So the back of this has to be sanded, but these don't fit adult hands. I show this every time I do a video. That's as far as these bracelets go. I'm always asking if you know where there are adult molds that I would be able to get a bracelet on after making it. Please let me know. So maybe these are for teenagers because they're certainly not for an adult. And I think my hands and wrists are pretty thin. So that was fun. And then we made another, here's another mold that I have listed up. These are my amethyst tips. I love how they come out. I also have this in food grade mold. So I do have coupons up. And I also went in and I also lowered several of the prices on my dishes and some of my other molds. Um, and I do have 5 different coupon codes up. And when I store my molds, I really like to store them upside down so they don't get dust and hairs and whatever in them. Uh, since I had leftover resin, I just grabbed this mold. This is also for sale on the website, this mold. And I just kind of put these in. And if you, this was a stone, so it's not shiny. But if you wanted that shiny, you could just put some nail polish on there. But you don't want to get the center where the sparkles are because then they won't sparkle once you put the gloss on them. You don't see the sparkle. And this was a little super sparkle Druzy like mold. I also have these as individual molds. I don't know if I listed them up individually. I don't think I did. I think I may have removed those ads and didn't get them into the new website shopping cart online store. And here's another one. So those were the ones that I used for my extras, and these were ones that I fool around with. So I actually put a piece of tape up around the edge in case I spilt the mold because, you know, I don't have a whole lot of luck sometimes. I could get pretty clumsy. Problem is I get excited and then I'm not paying attention like I should be to certain things. So this mold I had to make a split in to get this one out, and I don't know if I got the ears and the horn without air bubbles. We'll see. Come on, hands. Okay. Oh, okay. So a while ago, I forgot. I must have put gold in there and forgot about it. So I do that sometimes if I'm working with gold. I'll grab my unicorn things and I'll put the gold in where the horn goes and put the mold aside and for another day. I did completely forget. I thought the whole thing was going to be purple, but I forgot that I actually put the gold in. So the gold is already in that little guy right there. So that came out kind of cute. This was just leftover, just some leftovers that I had. So he's a cute little bugger. Cutie pie. And this is another one. This mold, I don't have this mold listed. I should list it up. I mean, if anybody sees it and they want one, I'll be more than happy to make you one and send you the information on what the mold would cost and that. So this is he's a little Buddha dude. And he was super old. super old. So he needs to be just a little clear coat on there. So he's kind of cute. So these next ones, I'm going to open them and I'm going to show you the mold. Uh, I'll show you the mold on this one. I'm not going to show. I won't be showing what I used to make it with, but I'll show you the outcome because I have to cast in it, and I really like to. I actually would rather reveal it with a casting than with just undoing it this way. But since I already said that I would, I'm going to follow through. And I hate having to break up the mold boxes that I build. I know you don't have a choice, and you really have to when you're making these molds. You know, you have to build the box around them and all that kind of stuff. So I'm just thinking at this very moment, is there a way, since I got two sides off, just to peel it up and take it out and save half of that mold box in case someone were to order it? Hold on a second. It looks like so it's I don't think that's going to work because there's no sticky stuff left on the bottom. So if I do this mold again, I'm going to use a cookie cutter. That's what I'm going to start doing, is using cookie cutters, because it's very time consuming to build these out of the foam board. And I can't stand having to tear them apart. So I'm definitely going to go back to trying the cookie cutter way, which I have done in the past. But I've been trying to do it the way that the mold makers teach you to do it. And I just think that that's just a little bit more time than I'm willing to put into, because I have a stack of 7 mold boxes that I've made here with items in it that I'm waiting to mold as soon as I get the rest more product in. So I'm going to pop this one out. I'll just show you the bottom of it, how it came out. And that's how it should look. And I'll show you what the mold's going to look like. Because I'm going to cast it and show it that way. But a girl can't give away all her secrets. Once in a while, we have to keep a little something for ourselves. So this is, I don't know if you could see all the sparkles in there. This is a new druzy mold. And I'm going to say that this little piece here, yeah, that piece doesn't need to be there. So I'm going to end up moving that little piece out. And the insides of that are all gems around the very edge, lining the edge. Baby tiny gems around the outer edge. And I may be doing some experimenting with this particular mold. And I may be able to make 2 different types out of it. So I don't know if you could see that. So this will be for making jewelry. So I'm going to cast in this tonight. And at least by Sunday or Monday, with the holiday, I may not be able to get back to it right away. Then we'll reveal how this looks. It's pretty cool. I mean, I've been excited about this one. Again, I hate having to break open my mold boxes. But this is I am waiting for it to get a little bit warmer so I can get my Harley out and get on the road. It's my big thrill, baby. I love me my Harley. Me and my honey. We ride our bikes and we go find nice places to eat. Don't do well on a diet when you're doing that. But that's our big thrill in our old age. It's getting on our motorcycles and going. So again, here I am trying to savor my box, right? Which I don't think I can get this out without destroying it. I'd like to think that I could. I'm going to try it. Just bear with me. I just want to try to see if I can loosen the mold from the box without destroying my whole box. Okay. It pulled it off anyway, though I could put new sticky paper down in there. So this is what I casted it from. And I'll be casting in this tonight. That is a lid. It's going to be the lid. Just trying to get some of these loose silicone pieces off. It's a tricky business doing molds. If you don't make them right, you're going to end up with a lot of silicone underneath, and it makes things difficult. So it's worth it to learn how to make the proper castings. And again, you wonder why. Well, why are these molds so expensive? Well, I got news for you. You're not just buying a mold like that. Everything has to be built around the item each time it's casted. So even though I tried to save this mold box, I look at that. I can't reuse that. So it has to go in the garbage and it has to be rebuilt. Okay. And this silicone stuff costs a fortune. So between the time that it takes, and I'm $15 an hour, which is cheap because I know most artists are like $20, $25 an hour. So I charge $15 an hour for my time. Plus, there are all the costs involved. So this is why you're paying. You're not just paying, for someone to pour a little mold. It's not that simple. This mold also, after it's put into this box, gets put into a pressure pot, which is dangerous to use. So it sits for another day under pressure. So you have to take into consideration all these things. So if you're going to complain about it and whine about it and you don't want to pay for it, bottom line, and I'm blunt as can be, go make your own. So that's for all the people who got something to say. Most other people I know have a respect for how it's done and understand and don't mind. I didn't understand all that in the very beginning, but once I started doing it myself, I learned real fast. And now I understand. And I go the extra step. A lot of mold makers don't make theirs in a pressure pot, but I am making high quality molds. And the reason is there are a lot of people out there who have pressure pots. And if they purchase a mold from me, they can cast and put it right into their pressure pot. But people who don't make their molds in pressure pots and people who have pressure pots and buy the mold, they can't even cast in your mold in their pressure pot and make it bubble free. Okay, because it's going to have all them pimples in it. So my molds are high quality. Anybody can buy the mold and put them into their pressure system, and they're going to get a quality casting out of it. There is not going to be any air bubbles in it. It's going to look beautiful. It's solid. The molds are solid. And you are ready to go when you buy one of my molds. Other people will say, oh, but there's no air bubbles in my mold. But oh, yes, there is. You just can't see them. But trust me, the pressure from that pot is gonna push that resin right into those holes. So each time, if someone wants to order this box mold, and my molds are only made to order, and this is one of the reasons why I'm not going to sit and make 20 of these for nothing. I wait for an order to come in, and then I will build the mold box, the mold holder, and then I will cast the mold, and then it goes into the pressure pot. So it's a process. See, this can't be used again. So it is a process. And if you don't respect that process, well, then you need to do it yourself. So this is my first time unmolding my box. There, I got it. Okay. So I will be casting in this tonight. This was an old box. So this is what it's going to look like. Okay. It's not going to be silver, but wherever you see it shiny, it's going to be shiny on the casting. This is the bottom of it. So this isn't even going to show. So the bottom will be smooth because that's not going to show. So we still have to see how it casts and how it comes out. I don't know how it's going to turn out. I don't know that. But we are going to see. It's not going to take a lot of mold stuff. So since I am new at making these, I'm just going to assume that this lid is going to work when it goes on top of that. So we're going to see. I'll make a video when I take it out of the casting pot and we test it out, and we'll see how these work. It's always a work in progress, and it's, there are learning curves with things like this. So I am excited about that one. It's one of my favorite pieces. Had it for a very, very, very long time, and I am very excited about it. So I hope you like all the little stuff that I made. Hello, Carol. How are you? I'm sorry I didn't see you come in. I'm actually facing another direction here. Okay. So like I said, I'll be casting in these tonight for sure. I don't know if I may have to do it. You know what? My granddaughter's coming over later tonight. I think I'm going to need to do it before she gets here, and then I'll get everything into the pot, and then I won't have to think about it for the next day or two, because I have a big Easter egg hunt with her tomorrow. I think there's going to be like 10,000 eggs there. One of our local Harley dealerships. They're extremely family oriented, and they have a beautiful location. They are amazing people, and they really, really go all out for the children. So it's going to be a beautiful event. I hope it's going to be a beautiful day. I hope it's not going to be raining. We are supposed to, it's, you know what? We are supposed to get flooding. We are under a flood watch. So there's a possibility that they may cancel or postpone it. But that's going to be an awful lot of eggs to hold on to. So I don't know how they're going to do that. Maybe the eggs aren't real eggs. Maybe the eggs were plastic eggs to begin with, or you know what I mean? So I just trim the bottom of that mold. I don't like to get too carried away with trimming my molds, but sometimes when you do the hot glue area building the mold, like this part was all from the bottom, and that's the sticky area that we have to put the item onto. So when we use the hot glue, it kind of makes ripples. So what I need to do is get one of them tiny little cuticle scissors just to cut some itty bitty pieces off, and I can't seem to locate my collection of baby scissors. So I could see me having to go to Walmart and grab a new pair just for my craft shop. Yeah, I don't know what I did with my baby scissors. I try to be so organized with everything, but sometimes I think I'm over organized that I just can't find stuff. So I'm gonna let's see. Is there anything that I wanted to show before I go? Well, I don't want to show I have 7 more mold boxes that have to be casted. So that's going to be 7 new items listed on the website. So I don't want to spoil that surprise. But I will show you the other plate. The other plate that I did, this heart one, was from that I did last week. So this is listed up, and I did bring the price down on that one. This is the one where the mold was too big to go in the pressure pot. So now when I cast it, if I get orders for it, I'm going to make the mold just small. Like I made it too big is what I did. And the mold box itself, the cardboard was sticking out too far. So I have to make sure my cardboard is precise, and then it'll fit right down the bottom of that pressure pot. And then it will be a perfect mold. So any orders that I get for this is going to be in a pressurized mold. All my molds are going to be pressurized, high quality molds. I'm not going to do any without that. I mean, unless I'm doing a pane of glass that won't fit in my pressure pot, everything's pressurized and high quality. So that's what I wanted to show you. And I'm sure you've already seen the other 2 dishes that I casted out of the little baby trinket dish. I really, really love the little trinket dishes. I really think they're awesome. And of course, I'm going to be selling these paperweights. These are my geode paperweights that I designed. The mold is not for sale on this because it's just too difficult to use, and I'm not going to continuously rebuild that. If I come up with something better in the future, I will definitely sell it, but I'm just going to sell the resin pieces made. So these will be getting listed up on the website soon. And I'll be listing hexagons up on the website soon as well. Not the mold. I had 2 molds. I kept one and I sold one to another artist, and I don't have any more of the molds. So I will be casting these and selling the resin castings only. And don't forget, the order that I uncasted first was the crystal cluster These are going to India. And this other cluster, I built both of these. These are for sale on the website. Okay, and we're going to cast the new this new piece. This is for people who like to make jewelry. So maybe there'll be an interest on that. Maybe not, but we're going to do that in the next couple days. You'll see that one undone. And I think that's everything for now. So be sure to go to leecranchcreations.com. Same name as Facebook, same name as the website. Yes, I'm excited too to see how they work out, Carol. I really am. I really, really, really am excited. And I mostly get excited all by myself, even though I make these videos. I don't, I only get to talk to a couple of people. So I'm glad you share my excitement because I'm usually excited by myself. So I am excited to see how the boxes turn out as well. But these are so beautiful. And right now, these are being sold for $20 a piece, the resin crystals themselves. The molds are more expensive than that, but I had a lady that I was buying a bunch of crystals off of, and turns out her crystals weren't what I thought they were, so I couldn't complete the order. I made her take a picture and show me them, and they just weren't good enough for me to make molds with, so I canceled the order. So that's why I didn't have a whole bunch more. I do have a big crystal cluster coming out, but again, I have to see how it molds, if it comes out of the mold. It's a big one, and I just have to see how it turns out to see if it's going to be something that can be sold. I already have someone on a waiting list that says the next big one I make, she wants. She buys all my stuff. But I have to see how it turns out. I don't even want to show it now. It is in the mold box waiting to go. But I have to wait till I get product. So once I get some more orders in, I'll go buy 18 more pounds of the silicone, and then I'll be able to do all the products that I have sitting here waiting. But it's just a waiting game right now. So it's just going to be a little bit of time before I can get the next 7 items released. And that one crystal is huge. And wait, oh man, I do have another crystal item coming out, and I think I slipped on the other video I did and I said what it was, but I think it's beautiful and I love it. And it's a big mold. It's going to be a big mold. It will fit in the pressure pot. But again, I have to wait until I'm able to get the new gallon jugs of the silicone in before I can pour any of these. The mold stuff that I have left in the bottom of my other jugs is sitting waiting in case someone orders any of my crystal molds. I have to have product there for customers. So everything's kind of on hold right now. I'm going to resin these, and I'll be working with resin casting these pieces, and I'm probably going to cast in them over and over several times. Until I go grab the other 18 gallons of silicone. So I'll just bide my time until I can. Robbing Peter to pay Paul here to do this to begin with. So bear with me. I'm doing the best that I can. And, I probably shouldn't have spent that $18 getting those samples from Eye Candy, but I really wanted a color shift, and I didn't end up with a color shift at all. And if anyone knows where I could buy a color shift, I mean, their bags, they only sell 25-gram bags for $25. I don't need that much. I don't want to spend that much. Um, so if anyone knows where I could get some, even from people who do fingernails, I just want to try the stuff. I don't know that I want to buy a whole bunch of it. Um, I really would like to try some color shift. So if anyone has any sources out there, please let me know in the comments, and I would be so grateful. Oh, thanks, Carol. I am doing the best that I can with what I have. I really am. And this, other than my grandkids and hanging out with my hubby, like this is my joy. I mean, I love my mediumship, and I love my spirit circles and those communities, and doing my spiritual work. But this is my craft. Crafting has always been my love, since I was a kid. And my first time I ever used resin, I was about 10 or 11 years old. And I will never forget the first piece that I made. And then I never touched it again until I was 55 years old. So um, that was a lifetime that I did not get to do resin and epoxy. But apparently I was supposed to, because I remember the roses that I did in that and the wood piece that I did on that. Like, I did a couple of items and even covered pictures on natural wood. I mean, I was just a young kid and I was doing some pretty awesome art now that I look back on it. But this is my joy, and if other people can get joy from the molds that I'm making, I'm fascinated with doing it. Um, Makes me happy. I see people using my crystals in their art, in their artwork. Deborah Strachan's made a beautiful collection using these two, as a matter of fact. Another woman, I don't have the name in front of me. It's Blue. Oh God, I can't think of her. I'm so embarrassed. I can't think of her name. But she made beautiful jewelry trays with my big cluster crystals. She did great. Oh my God, she did the she used the big crystal, and those trays look absolutely amazing. So it's just like I'm in awe when I see people posting up and using my molds and making creations from them. It's hard to describe that awesome feeling, but it's great. And I really like it a lot. So I'm going to go, and everybody have a fantastic holiday, however you celebrate it. And if you can, make some art. Hug and kiss your family. Tell them how much you love them. Um, and, when there are people that we love that either don't love us back or have issues of their own, send them love from your heart anyway. Because, you know, when they're sending out negativity and they're not loving you back, and that's issues within them. They're doing that because something in them is not right and is not resonating, and that's something that they need to work on. So try not to take it personal. I know how painful it is. I've been through it on many, many levels, many, many times throughout my life. But I've also finally come to learn that it is actually parts of them that are unhappy that they're projecting onto us, and they don't realize that. So send them love from your heart center. Um, when they freak out around you or act like idiots around you, stay calm. Just stay calm and send love to them. It's the best that we can do. You know, I wish everybody a happy Easter. And remember, when Christ resurrected from the tomb, he was a spirit, and he was showing that there's life after death. It's just a transition of our soul onto the next level of our journey. We never ever die. And Christ tried to teach that. Christ was a great master teacher, and he was a wonderful ascended master, and he has tried to show us who we are and what we are. And he definitely tried to show that we do not die. And that's what that resurrection was all about when he was seen by Lazarus and the stone moved and all that wonderful stuff. That it was just proof that there's life after death. So know it and believe it. Have a great Easter, everybody. If I can, I'll jump back on if there's something worthy of showing, or I just feel like hanging out. But I think I'll be pretty busy. I love you all. I appreciate your support. I'm sure you all have other things you could be doing in life besides watching my videos or seeing what my channel's about, but I appreciate it. No one has come forward for the 3 giveaways that I did on the last giveaway on April 4th. And so May 4th, I will be redrawing and giving away the 3 gifts to 3 other people. The 3 women were listed. I contacted one and they never responded back on Instagram. So time is moving forward, and pretty soon, before you know it, I'm going to be redrawing those gifts. And if no one takes the second drawing of gifts, I'm just going to pick a few artists who have actually asked for it and I'm just going to give it to them. Okay, so I love you all. Rock on. Make something beautiful, people. Ciao.